Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out-of-this-world story from rSpace. I found out my 27 male, newlywed wife, 28 female, of 6 months, has been having an affair with another married coworker, 33 male, while out of town for work. This sucks, but getting it off my chest and hearing others' thoughts has done a lot for my recovery. Some backstory. I met my wife just over 2 years ago upon returning from a military deployment. She's in the military as well, and had just moved to the same town for a long-term training syllabus. We hit it off great. Better than any other relationship I had been in by a long shot, with plenty of strong defining moments. We've had stupid fights over things like the AC not working, but overall awesome at conflict resolution and not fighting routinely. Just over a year into dating, we moved in together and bought a puppy. That fall, I got her father's permission and proposed. Our families have had a great relationship with us and each other. She then had to move to another state for another 6 months of training before we would be back together. So we got legally married to ensure we'd get orders together, not uncommon in the military. With COVID going on, our leave requests were routinely denied, minus the Thanksgiving-Christmas period, until both of us were vaccinated. I finally had leave approved and plane tickets to see her the week this all fell apart. While apart, we FaceTimed every night, texted throughout the day, were house shopping for our next duty station together, continued to plan our real wedding in the church, and with friends and family, did taxes, watched movies, and plenty more to facilitate the long distance. Hours before I found out about the affair, we were having a conversation about how exciting it is that our period of distance is coming to a close and how strong we were in making it work. Both of us had been in long-distance relationships prior to meeting each other, so we knew how to do it right. Then, I received an odd message from someone on Facebook. "Hey, our spouses are screwing each other. I found pictures and videos." I ignored it, thinking it was spam, and that the next message would be a link for my credit card information or something. Then, "Hey, call me when you can. Your wife and my husband are screwing each other. I have pics and video on WhatsApp. It's happened 3 times unprotected. They've also said I love you." At this point, I'm realizing this isn't spam, but instead maybe this poor woman is having a weird mental breakdown. I call my wife and ask her to check in on her friend, when mid-phone call, the pictures and videos were sent to me. My knees gave out, and the only thing I remember was hearing my wife say, "I'm so sorry, I was never going to tell you." I accidentally knocked a glass off the counter behind me when I fell and stepped on it. Blood everywhere, but I wasn't even feeling it. I call my boss and tell him I can't come to work tomorrow. I call my mother and my best friend. The bleeding didn't stop by morning, so I went to the ER and I received 6 stitches, which just came out this week. My wife called every minute for the next several hours, but I ignored them. Since then, I've had limited contact with my wife other than a couple of phone calls where I do my best to control my emotions and ask why. She says she felt an immense amount of guilt about our next duty station. I didn't get the job I wanted, but it wasn't her fault, and claimed she felt pressured whenever I would routinely say, "It's okay, all I need to be happy is to be with you." She also claims how lonely and purposeless she felt going through her training, and that this other husband was already confiding in her about his unhappy marriage of 16 years with 3 kids. She admits to saying she loved him and that she had an emotional connection with him, but didn't mean it. She just didn't want to hurt him by not saying it back. On my end, she claims I never did anything wrong and that she accepts full blame. I decided that no matter what, I needed a lawyer. He pointed out that under military law, I could charge her and the other husband with adultery and some other crimes, and that they could lose their jobs pretty easily. After plenty of thought and therapy sessions, I decided that vengeance won't solve anything here, and that we really just need a clean-cut divorce under civilian law. Since we only got legally married right before my wife moving, we've maintained separate finances and share no assets or debt right now. I've also been the dog's primary caretaker, and he's been registered under my name and state, so I want to keep him. Here's what I keep asking myself. Am I rushing into the divorce? My wife seems truly remorseful and wants to stay together, but I can't tell if she's just feeling shame or actually sorry. My therapist leads me to believe that she is very deeply narcissistic, and that she needs professional help, and that I need to accept that she's not the woman I thought I married. I wouldn't say I proposed earlier than I would have liked, but we definitely got paper married early to ensure our careers would keep us together, and we're in a very exciting phase of buying a home and planning the real wedding with friends and family. We've tackled many obstacles together throughout our relationship super well, but this is the first one where I feel our team is divided. Either way, I don't want to see her anytime soon after what's happened. let alone buy a house with her, or feel like I can trust her when we eventually go on our next deployment. While it may seem quick, I feel like the end result of divorce is the rational option that's best for both of us. If anything, and we were truly meant to be, we can always get remarried, and the real way, since we're still going to the same duty station next anyway. But she needs to get this demon out of her that caused her to go wayward. Let's get one comment from Yara Yara, and then move on to the next story. One thing to know is that if you do not dob your wife and her affair partner in, his wife most assuredly will. That is guaranteed. When speaking to your lawyer next, ask about the possibility of an annulment on the grounds of infidelity and follow what he tells you and do it. The problem you face in the here and now is that you have just discovered that your wife is a stranger to you. You really know nothing about her, and whilst you think you love her and want to be with her, you have no idea who she is. On the surface, you can take what you had and say, well, she is this. But the cheating over such an extended period and the way that you discovered it shows that she is not that person. To put it simply, the person you profess to love is not the person you married. Chances are, she never existed. Your gut is telling you that the right thing to do, no contact and divorce, or at least an annulment. Legally, an annulment will be the quickest and easiest of the two. It was, after all, a mistake to ever marry her in the first place and at such an early stage, and with the prospect of your two remaining physically separated by distance, and her being close to her affair partner for quite a while, declaring your marriage null is definitely the best way forward. There are many things couples can do to attempt to reconcile the relationship, but the two most important things in your arsenal are not available to you. These, working on it together and her being apart from her affair partner, make any reconciliation an insurmountable task. End of the day, if you were both truly meant to be, she would not be banging a married man as a newly wedded wife. If she was truly remorseful, she would have stopped it at the first instance and come clean to you straight away. So no, she is not remorseful. She is rather sorry that she got caught and that it has blown up your lives, and potentially her career. Staying with her means staying with a cheater and a liar, someone who will in all likelihood be getting kicked out of the military, and someone who will be totally dependent on you. And you will hate her and be paranoid about her until the day you finally and her inevitably part ways. No, you are not rushing things, not by a long shot. Edit. If, as I suspected, the other betrayed spouse spills the beans to their command, she'll be doing all in her power to get them apart, and reporting them will be high on the list of things she can do, especially if it means she gets access to his pension as part of their divorce settlement. You won't have to worry about deploying to the same base, as she won't be deploying anywhere except to the local unemployment office. Alright, next story. Wife admitted to cheating years ago. I have been with my wife since college. I haven't dated anyone except her. We've been together for over 10 years and just married a month ago. We've been through a lot together. We grew and matured together. Our lives really revolved around one another. We traveled the world together and we made it through every challenge. The biggest probably was when she moved to another country 5 years into our relationship. But we made it work. Anyway, after a lot of planning and challenges brought by the pandemic, we got married a month ago, so I could finally come and live with her. I was excited. I thought, we'll finally be able to work toward our dream life together. Until a few days ago. Now I'm stuck in quarantine at the moment and won't be able to be with her for a few more days. I was on Facebook and I pointed out to her how I don't understand how her friend still ended up marrying the guy who cheated on her. I didn't know how ironic that was going to be for me. A few moments after that, she looked really uneasy. I asked her why, and that was when she finally admitted to it. She said she cheated on me 4 years into our relationship. This was with a guy she worked with in her first job. She told me they went out as a group for drinks and they were all drunk and she ended up in his car. He tried to kiss her, but insisted she didn't want to because she had a boyfriend, but ended up doing so anyway. They ended up at a motel, but she said nothing happened because she was throwing up and the guy couldn't get it up due to drunkenness. But she admitted they ended up doing it in his car on the way home. She told me she was drunk and the guy was pressuring her into it. That's why she gave in. My head was spinning. I couldn't believe she did that to me. She said she couldn't take the guilt anymore. That's why she told me. That she wanted to come clean and get a fresh start. My heart was broken. I thought everything was finally coming together for me, but it all came crashing down. For the next few days, I did nothing but curse at her and tell her how hurt I am and all that. She was begging me to give her another chance, to work past it since we were starting our new life together. She said she only did it once since then, and I believe her. And that was just immature then. But after pressuring her for more details, I really don't know why I did this, she admitted in the end that she liked the guy, and I just can't accept she was drunk. She had sobered up a bit, but still ended up blowing the guy and having sex in the back of his car. This made me even angrier. How can she just throw away what we had that easily? How can she keep it from me all those years? She said she realized it was a mistake early on and nothing ever happened again. She was afraid of losing me, that's why she never told me. And to be fair to her, we were really happy. She loved me unconditionally. She said she wants to fix things between us. But I don't know. I can't get the image of her doing it with the guy out of my head. Every time I look at her, I cry. I can't believe what she's done to me. I really don't know how to move forward. I don't know if I can face her. I truly believe she's sorry, but I can't let it go. I just want to end it and move on. I keep telling myself to just think of our happy memories together and fix everything. But at the same time, I can't believe she cheated on me and hid it from me all those years. I don't even know if what we had was real. I really don't know what to do. Alright, one comment from Text Me, Meet Me 178. She's not trying to minimize what she has done. Heck, even after the first kiss, if she didn't want, why didn't she just leave? Couldn't she have called you to pick her up? Then, later she said she had feelings for the guy. If I'm being honest, I think she did it in the motel and in other places, more than one time. And 5 years into the relationship, she moved into another country? How do you know she was faithful there? Since she was away and she had already cheated once and got away, maybe she could have done the same when she was abroad. And you just moved in together. And let me see if I got this right. You only move in with her after getting married? Why haven't both of you decided to move in before getting married? Have you discussed that with her? And she only told you because of something you saw on Facebook, waited 6 years, and pretty much stole your chance of making that decision. My opinion on this one. But she waited to tell you because she wanted to secure you with the marriage. She probably thought that since you just married, she can come clean because after all, it's been 6 years. But she stole your opportunity to choose. Think even if it was one time, it's still bothering you. Now ask yourself, if she told you this before the wedding, would you still marry her? What would you do? You have two options. 1, couples therapy and move on. 2, divorce her and move on. If I were you, I would start with individual therapy and get away from her for a few months. After that, I would choose option 1 or option 2. During that few months, you could also do couples therapy, but that's your decision. At least you found out before having kids.